He found a way, baby. Fever down. Bow.
Man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give and you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
Nobody expected them to win, not without their star. The matchup had been hyped for months. Clark versus Bueckers, the top pick of 2024 versus the projected number 1 of 2025. Fans packed into a 20,000-seat arena, tickets sold out, and the buzz was electric. But just hours before tip-off, everything changed. Caitlin Clark was out, a last-minute decision that sent shockwaves through the crowd and turned the most anticipated showdown of the season into a question mark.
I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs, and they made their run that third quarter, and honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on. And so for us, that was our focus: is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
Suddenly, the Indiana Fever looked like a team walking into a storm without an umbrella. They'd just been demolished the night before. Their offense broken, their energy gone. Everyone thought they were finished. But what happened over the next 40 minutes stunned everyone in the building. Without Clark, the Fever didn't just survive, they transformed. This wasn't just another game on the schedule, it was the game. The one everyone had circled since draft night. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. The kind of matchup that doesn't just draw fans, it creates headlines. The Dallas Wings knew they were sitting on something massive. So instead of hosting it in their usual 7,000-seat arena,
finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It really is a day-to-day thing. And I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
They moved the game to the American Airlines Center, the home of the Mavericks, a 20,000-seat coliseum, packed with anticipation. You don't make that kind of move unless you know something big is coming, and the buzz? Unreal. Social media was flooded.
I feel a disappointment for them more than anything because, you want them to see her at her best and us at our best. I hate that for fans, but at the same time, again, for us as a team, and for Caitlin as a person and player, her health and wellness is the priority.
WNBA fans, college hoops diehards, even casuals who barely followed the league were suddenly tuned in. Everyone wanted a front row seat to witness the first battle between the new face of the WNBA and the player who might just take that title next. But as the noise reached a fever pitch, reality hit hard.
I think the biggest thing for us is our attention to detail in our screening. We've got to be great screeners. We got to make sure we slow down and use our screen and our spacing. We've had some games where our spacing has been poor, and that has not allowed Kelsey to get downhill, and it hasn't allowed space for Aaliyah to get going either. So I think that the two most important things for us right now offensively is attention to detail and screening and spacing.
2 days before tip-off, the news started to trickle out. Clark was hurting, a lingering groin injury, worse than anyone thought. At first, the team called it day-to-day, leaving just enough hope to keep fans hanging on. But deep down, people started bracing for disappointment. Then came the gut punch. Caitlin Clark was out. The headliner, the draw, the reason thousands of fans bought tickets, gone. The most hyped showdown of the season was suddenly missing its biggest name. And it wasn't just a bummer for fans, it was a crisis for Indiana.
We'll start Ari today. We'll start her and bring Sid off the bench a little bit. I don't want to take Kelsey out of what she naturally does instinctually on the wing and overload her from a point guard perspective. So with having Ari and having Sid, they'll give us a couple different looks right there.
Clark isn't just a scorer. She's the engine. She sets the tempo, spreads the floor, controls the offense. Without her, the Fever didn't just lose a player, they lost their identity. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Just 24 hours earlier, the Fever looked completely lost. No direction, no fire. no Clark. The Los Angeles Sparks ran them off the court, exposing every crack in their system. The ball movement, non-existent. The pace, sluggish. Aliyah Boston, their dominant post presence, barely got a touch.
Charles can't finish.
Gotta finish that.
Oh, beautiful pass. McDonald counted in one.
Everything that made Indiana dangerous vanished without their floor general. Dallas saw it. They studied the film. They knew exactly what kind of team was coming into their building, a broken one. And they were ready to pounce. Without Clark, the offense became predictable. Boston was easy to trap. Kelsey Mitchell got swarmed. The Fever didn't just lose, they collapsed.
Can't finish.
As a big, you gotta lean in. You can't be falling away.
McDonald has been outstanding.
So when word spread that Clark was officially out for the Dallas game too, most people wrote Indiana off before the ball even tipped. But that's when something strange happened. The Wings thought they had Indiana figured out. A wounded team, low on confidence, running on fumes after a brutal loss.
Inside, can't get it. Lee Yu-Ru can't. Here comes Natasha Howard. 9-0 run for Indiana. Lexi Hull carries the three.
It seemed that
You got to get out on her, ladies. She's shooting 51% from beyond the arc.
this is a run.
But just before the game, Fever coach Stephanie White flipped the script. She benched the usual starters and made a bold move. Ari McDonald was in the lineup. It was her first start of the season, and nobody saw it coming. McDonald hadn't been the focal point. She wasn't on anyone's radar, but in one night, she changed everything.
Shooting to open the game. The Wings are only 2 of 14. Howard lobs it inside Boston, and Maisha Hines-Allen got lost. Allowed for the easy two.
And you challenge Natasha, and she's going to get in the paint. And so the defense has to step up to protect the drive, and now she puts that air on the ball, and AB is able to finish that shot at the rim. That was beautiful.
From the opening tip, Ari brought a different energy. She pushed the pace, attacked the rim, and threw Dallas into total chaos. 7 straight makes to open the game. The ball was flying around the court. Suddenly, Indiana didn't look lost. They looked locked in. The Wings came in prepared to stop Kelsey Mitchell by her life. She pushed the tempo so hard, Dallas looked winded by the 5-minute mark. And with all eyes suddenly on Ari, the floor opened up. Aliyah Boston, quiet the night before.
This is what they do.
Yep. Sometimes you're going to have some back-to-back games. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get in the gym and practice. Got it.
Up.
Good night.
And again, the veteran schools the rookie.
Started getting clean touches in the post. She went to work, scoring efficiently, grabbing rebounds, and playing like the all-star everyone knows she is. Her confidence returned possession by possession, and then there was Kelsey Mitchell. She didn't force shots. She let the game come to her. Halftime, Indiana was rolling, up big. The crowd, thousands who came to see Clark, were on their feet for a completely different reason. But Dallas? They weren't done. The third quarter flipped the mood. Paige Bueckers came alive. Calm, cold, clinical. She started carving up Indiana's defense piece by piece, jumper after jumper, no mistakes. She finished with 27 points, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and, get this, 0 turnovers. 0. The Fever's lead, shrinking fast. You could feel the panic starting to creep in. This was the exact script everyone had seen before. No Clark. Hot start, slow collapse.
Paige is just such a smart player. She reads defensive well. She knows how to pick you apart. And so when you play against her, you have to make sure that you're aware of where she is at all times. And also she does a great job of putting her teammates in great position. So for us, I feel like it's kind of similar in college and in the league. Like Paige is just playing great basketball and make sure that she sets up her teammates for the same.
The momentum was shifting and Indiana looked like they might break. This was the test. The kind that separates hype from heart. A 20-point lead was down to single digits, and Bueckers wasn't slowing down. Everything Indiana had built in the first half was on the verge of slipping away. This is where teams usually fall apart. The star is out, the lead is slipping, the momentum is gone, But Kelsey Mitchell didn't flinch. She did the one thing great players do. She took over. Step back threes, mid-range daggers, no hesitation drives to the rim. Mitchell played with the kind of intensity that dares the other team to stop her, and they couldn't.
Every little thing matters.
Mitchell gives it up. Natasha Howard, beautiful shot. Howard with a double-double of 12 and 11.
She dropped 32 points and 7 assists on 65% shooting, and somehow that stat line doesn't even tell the whole story, because every single shot came when Indiana needed it most. While Mitchell was setting the tone, Aliyah Boston was doing everything else. Cleaning the glass, drawing double teams, locking down on defense. She finished with 21 points, 9 of 14 from the field, and hit every single free throw in crunch time. Together, they answered Dallas shot for shot. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't easy, but it was resilient. And when it mattered most, the Fever didn't just hang on.
Yo, great job. Okay, great job. We weathered a storm. We found some toughness in the fourth quarter to be able to get stops and to execute, right? We grew tonight. I mean, it really, everybody just good stuff, okay? Good stuff all around. It's a big time win for us on a back-to-back at the end of a tough road trip, so good stuff.
Hey, one more. Coach's 100th.
All right, let's go.
Here we go. Together, 3, 1, 2, 3.
They closed. The final buzzer sounded 94 to 86. No Clark. No collapse. Just a team that refused to back down. And then Aaliyah Boston stepped to the mic. Reporters flooded her with questions about playing without Clark, about pressure, about how they pulled this off. But Boston didn't give a technical answer. She gave a message. Every game is a home game. 6 words. That's all she said. But in that moment, everything made sense. The sea of Fever jerseys scattered across the arena. The energy that followed them on the road. The way the team played like they belonged. Anywhere? Against anyone. Those fans didn't just show up. They traveled. They brought the noise. They turned an away game into something different, something personal. And the Fever? They responded like they were defending their own floor. This wasn't about proving they could survive without Clark. It was about showing who they really are when nobody thinks they can. This game changed the way people see the Fever. More importantly, it changed the way the Fever see themselves.
There were a lot of Fever fans today at the game. What does it mean to you to just have their presence with you wherever you go?
Every game is a home game. I think you see that. People show up, they show out. I think it's great for this league, just people continuing to come to games and watch, because I think when people show up to watch a game, they might have came for one person, but they leave liking many more. And so I think that's the way you look at it, right? You've had this arena that's filled and people are coming in and they're like, whoa, I like her, she's tough. And so I think it's just great for the game.